Okay, we're going to look at layer parenting in Animate, which is a way of connecting layers together. So when you move one part of the body, the part it's attached to also moves. So you've got this kind of hierarchy of layers. Okay, so first of all, you're going to create a character in Illustrator. The important thing when you create your character is make sure that the different key body parts are on separate layers. If you name your layers, as I've done here, okay. So I'm just going to just need to add a few more layers for the hands and the feet as well. Okay, so now as you can see, I've arranged all my layers. I have the hands, feet, legs, arms, torso and head all on separate layers. So if I save that, okay, and then switch to Animate. Okay, create a new Animate movie, and then ready to import in. So if we go to File, Import, Import to Stage, select our Illustrator file. Okay, now that will recognize the separate layers. Just make sure where it says Convert Layers to, you select Animate Layers. Import those in, and you'll see that those separate layers are imported in. So the next thing we want to do is place this inside a movie clip. So if we go over to the library, go to the bottom left of the library, you see a plus sign. If you click on that, give your new movie clip a name. So make sure it's a movie clip and give it a name. Then if we go, so we're inside the movie clip here, if we go back outside it, select our layers. Okay, we can cut those out. Cut layers. Double click on our movie clip to go inside it again. Right click on the existing empty layer that's in there and select Paste Layers. I'll paste them in. You can select the empty layer now and delete that. We don't need that. That was the one that was already in there. So we have all our separate layers inside this movie clip now. So I'm just going to adjust the timeline down a bit. So the next thing now is to arrange these into a complete whole. If you arrange them, just be aware that this is the center of the movie clip, so if you arrange them around that center. Okay, and the other thing to be aware of is the layer order. So obviously, for example, if I bring one of the legs up here, it's over the torso at the moment. I actually want it behind the torso. So again, you can rearrange the layers as you wish. So I need to drag that leg layer underneath the torso. Sorry. And then this arm needs to be above the torso, so that's fine where it is. And then continue until you've assembled your character. Okay, so we've assembled the character. If you click on the arrow top left here, that takes us back to the main timeline, and then we still have our character and all the layers inside the character movie clip here. So we're going to animate this character, so we want to bring him from the library now to the main stage. We can drag him in. Okay, so we're going to animate over about 100 frames. So if we click at 100, press F5 to extend to 100. And then if we double click to go inside here, we're going to make a walk cycle that lasts about just over about 25 frames is fine. So again, shift click on all the layers at 25 or approximately 25, press F5 to block that out. Okay, so the next stage now is creating this layer parenting that's talking about. So this is basically connecting the different body parts together. So when you move one body part, it moves the connected parts. So you've got this kind of hierarchy of connections. So to do that, if you go to mouse over this symbol here at the top of the layer panel, it says Show Parenting View. So if you click that, turn that on, we go into Parenting View, and then it's a question basically of kind of wiring up these layers together. Okay, so when wiring up the parent and child layers, you start with the child layer. Okay, so if we start with this left arm here, so the left arm, if I click here, is the child of the torso, so I can wire that to the torso, and then the left hand is the child of the left arm, so I can wire that up to there. So like I said, this kind of hierarchy, parent-child relationship, and then if we do the same with the arm, the right arm is the child of the torso, right hand is child of right arm, and then so on, same relationship with the legs. Okay, so the other thing before we start to animate, so we've linked up the parent-child layers now, is and again we've looked at this, we have used this technique previously, but without the layer parenting. If you click on each of the body parts, just make sure that you move this central circle here, which acts like, as we've done previously, like a joint. That then the movement of that particular body part will hinge around. So I've also moved the hinge for the hand there to the wrist area. So if I now move the arm, okay, you'll see it takes the hand with it because the hand is parented to the arm. Okay. Okay, another important point, once you've selected each body part and you've moved the central circle here so it acts like a hinge, just be sure to then convert each body part into a graphic. Okay, so with the body part selected, okay, you can press F8 and make sure graphic is selected, and you can name the body part as well. So it's a little bit time consuming this early stage, but then once you've got that set up, you have your puppet, you have your character, and then you can animate it how you want. Okay, and now the final stage is to animate the character. So again, on this timeline inside the movie clip, we can start to insert keyframes. So if I shift click across the layers here, press F6, I can now start to animate the character by rotating the various body parts. And remember, if you turn onion skin on, then that can help, because you can then adjust the markers here. That will show you what's on the previous keyframe. What's also really useful is if you select loop here, turn onion skin off and then play, it will just play the frames that you've animated on a loop, so you can get a sense of whether that's working as an animation or not. Alright, so I'm going to go with that. It's not fantastic, but it'll do. So the next thing is to put, what you can also do, and I didn't show you with the last time we did a walk cycle, is you can use classic tweens as well. So if we just click top left, shift click bottom right, right click and create classic tween, that will automatically tween, put a tween between those two keyframes there, which kind of smooths out the movement slightly. Okay, so again that become more apparent as you started to build up more frames, but it's kind of tweening that movement between those two keyframes. Okay, I can put in another keyframe here, and then it'll tween this frame to the final keyframe here. There you go, so I've put in that final keyframe as well, and then you can see it's tweening between all three keyframes now. Okay. Okay, and then finally, as we did with the previous walk cycle we can click back to scene 1, to the main timeline. Okay, and we've got all the animation we've just created nested inside this keyframe here, inside this movie clip here. Okay, we have blocked out frames on the timeline here. I'll just zoom out on those. So now what we can do is put a motion tween on here. So right click, create motion tween on this first keyframe. So if we move the playhead to this first keyframe, we can move him off stage right, and then move the needle to the end of the block and move him off stage left. So the computer will tween that movement for us, and then if we test this now, we'll see the movement right to left and also the animation that's nested inside the movie clip. So control test scene, there we go. Okay,